legendary birth. Hawaiian legend claimed that a great king would one day unite the islands, and that the sign of his birth would be a comet, Halley's Comet. Born in the month of Ikuwa, winter, or around November, he was known as Pai, which means hard-shelled crab. Alapaulino, who was the present king of Hawaii at the time, was angry when Kahuna told him that the child born would become the slayer of the chiefs. And he had, according to custom, 2 houses built that day, one for the child that would be hunted and killed, and the other of Kahuna's. Similar to Jesus' birth, when King Herod ordered the execution of young male babies throughout the kingdom. Kamehameha has a similar birth story as to Jesus. A Kahuna Opalalana warned that Pai should live with Kona Opanalani. There he was trained in the art of war and court disciplinary and court diplomacy under his teacher Kahuapio. Another story says the name of Pai was given to Kamehameha after he distinguished himself as a warrior in the battle between Maui and Hawaii Islands in 1775 to 1779. By saving his teacher's Kalupeala Io's life by blocking a blow from a paoa, Paia is said to have had a dour disposition and acquired the name he is best known for today, Kamehameha, from the Hawaiian language for the lonely one. The name Kamehameha was given Paia by Alpiani after he was brought into his court. Paia was given that name because, for most of his childhood life, he lived in solitude at Awani. It was a legendary birth that we can make a connection through with the monolithic connection. His birth, legendary, he had a call to adventure, the prophecy that he would be the slayer of chiefs, determination to unite all the lands. His helpers, taught by King Kahupa'o in the art of war and court diplomacy. He crossed the threshold when he went to live with his uncle and cousin. He was tested at the Battle of Makoi, and Kamehameha took control of districts of Ko'ola, Kona, and Hamakua on the islands of Hawaii, and the Battle of Nahununa. The final battle, the climax, would be when he took over Kauai. He was the master of the 2 worlds when he establishes Hawaii and becomes the leader. Kamehameha was a great leader that united the Hawaiian Islands and created the Kingdom of Hawaii. For that, he is the cherished figure in their culture. There are 5 major statues that exist. Kamehameha statue, original cast, is an outdoor sculpture cast in 1880 and installed in 1883. It stands in front of the Old Country Courthouse in the town of Ka'apu, located in North Ko'ola on the island of Hawaii. It depicts Kamehameha I and represents an important cultural and spiritual object for the local community. Some Hawaiians consider the statue a receptacle of a mana, a term that translates to supernatural or divine power. For some Hawaiians, any image of Kamehameha is considered a very strong key. Figurative sculpture is created by native Hawaiians, and it is common to find offerings of food, ribbons, and pukuau left as tribute upon the sculpture's pedestal. One of the statue's most important cultural functions is its role in the annual celebration of Kamehameha Day, a 2-day festival starting on June 11th in which much of the Hawaiian population participates. Kamehameha, the great original statue, has also become an important political symbol for the Hawaiian Islands. It is featured on the official Hawaiian state seal and in the logo of the Kamehameha schools, which has campuses located throughout the islands. One is located in Hilo, Hawaii, at the north end of Waiola'a River State Recreational Area, where it enjoys a view of Hilo Bay. One of similar size is located in an outdoor Polynesian shopping center across from the Monte Carlo Resort and Casino on the Las Vegas Strip in Nevada. One in the National Statuary Hall collection at the United States Capitol as a representation of the state of Hawaii. One is located outside Sam's Anchor Inn family restaurant in Okinawa, Japan. In 1871, Kamehameha V decreed a holiday, Kamehameha Day, in his honor. This holiday is still celebrated annually on June 11th. As stated before, Kamehameha schools were founded throughout Hawaii in his honor. The first of these schools opened in 1887. Kamehameha I appears on the state quarter coin of Hawaii. Prior to its unification, the island of Hawaii was composed of a bunch of warring factions. Kamehameha successfully unified Hawaii. Kamehameha was raised in Kalaluapu, his uncle, in his court along with his cousin Kaeloa. Kamehameha was given a prominent religious position, guardianship of the Hawaiian god of war, Kalamaku, as well as a district of Waipopo Valley. There was already hatred between the two cousins. Cosmin Kamehameha presented a slain ally's body to the gods instead of Kaulua. Kaulua was defeated in the Battle of Makuai, and Kamehameha took control of the districts of Kuola, Kona, and Hamaku on the islands of Hawaii. Much like Gawain, Kamehameha united a distorted society in the early 1800s. Hawaii was in a state of turmoil and disorder when Kamehameha took control, uniting the islands under the formal name of the Kingdom of Hawaii. But unlike our previous heroes, Beowulf and Gawain did not go on military conquest to unite a people. While all three of these heroic stories involved fighting, they differed that in only King Kamehameha dealt with fighting within his society. Both Gawain and Beowulf dealt with forces that were against the society.